Everybody. We're going to let everyone join the call, give you a couple more minutes to settle in. All right, we'll have more people join in as we start, but we're just really ready to get started. So welcome to the Houston East End Chambers Construction and Government Contracting Workshop Series. This is the second of 4, and it is great to see so many people return from the first one. This workshop series will end with a panel discussion on June 17th with organizations that you can become certified with and bid on upcoming projects. Today would not be possible without our sponsors, and we are grateful for our title sponsor, Cadence Bank. And today we have David Vasquez, Community Development Officer, who will give some opening remarks. And then also after he does that, later on in the program, we will introduce Solomon Salcedo. He's the Small Business Relationship Manager who will provide additional information that will help you and your business. Thank you, David.
Hey guys, welcome everyone. I want to thank East End Chamber for allowing Solomon and myself to come on your guys' webinar. We are extremely excited to provide any type of financial information that we can offer to you guys. We really thank East End Chamber for the partnership that you guys have created for Cadence Bank to allow us to empower the local community by whether it's financial literacy, financial empowerment, small business economic development, whatever the case may be. We are excited to be a part of what you guys are doing in the community. So just everyone, welcome. Thank you guys for allowing us to be here and just enjoy the show. Thank you.
Thank you. And we also want to thank our gold sponsors, Collaborative LLC, Christian Valentine, if you can wave, Christian. And then we also have David Needle. You will hear from both of these folks during the program, and we are again grateful for your participation. So at the Houston Chamber of Commerce, and maybe everyone needs to mute themselves, our mission is to connect businesses to promote economic expansion and investment here in the East End. And we are proud to connect with Julie Irvin and Susan Repka, experts in helping you and construction and government contracting. As we slowly get back into in-person meetings, we want to make sure that you use this workshop to network. So while Julie and Susan are going over what you will learn today, if you want to share your contact information in the chat room, please make sure that you put your name, your email address, and phone number. And then at the end of the program, remember to click on the 3 dots to the right of your name where it says to, and then there'll be an area in there where you can copy, and it'll automatically copy to your system. So now it is my honor to introduce you to Susan Repka, President SMR of SMR Business Services, and Julie Hartman.
Thank you so much, Francis. And we have a special and honored guest that is joining us this morning. We have Tad Tellefson, the CEO of Tellefson. He is a 4th generation family owner of a company with over a century of impact. Tad is an adaptive leader who leverages the timeless values of Tellefson while innovating in high technology built environment. Please welcome Tad.
Well, hey everybody, and thank you, Julie. I'm not sure how special I am, but thank you for telling me that. It makes me feel good today. I just can't tell you all how excited I am to talk to you today for just a few minutes to open up this panel session that you will enjoy. I hope in some way that this serves as a bit of inspiration because the Tellefson companies are now in our 4th generation of success, and that all started right here where you all are in the East End. My great-grandfather, Mr. Tom, as he was known, was the typical American story of his time that played out all over this country. Some of you have family that got here the same way. He immigrated here from Norway in the early 1900s. He made his way to the Panama Canal to work as a carpenter for a few years for the rich wages of $5 a day. Boy, things have changed. But the conditions there were so terrible, as you can imagine, he wanted to be here in Texas. So he came here and he came to the East End where he started his family and his company. By 1909, he was in business. And at that time, Houston was only a population of 65,000 people. Can you imagine? Houston area now is over 10 times that size. So this is where Tellefson family grew up. This is our home. this is a part of our passion. The East End has given us more than we can ever repay. And we joke that aren't we glad that our great-grandfather, Mr. Tom, picked Houston to start his business instead of Detroit. But that's the past, and all of us here today are part of the future. You all share many things in common with Mr. Tom. Sheer determination to start a small business, a strong work ethic, a thirst for knowledge. In fact, he took architectural drafting classes at the YMCA in 1910 to improve himself as a young contractor. And that started a 110-year relationship with the YMCA, one of our most important community organizations around here. Every small business faces the challenge of growing year after year, and then at some point adapting and remaining relevant. And every generation of the Tellefson family has faced those same challenges. Each time a strategic decision on how we're going to grow and how we're going to adapt, we always went back to our values of family, faith, education, and putting others first. It's not about us. My great-grandfather always told us it's important for Tellefson to be a part of something greater than ourselves. And that's how we feel about the East End and what you guys are doing for our community, our business community. It's something bigger than any of us. And we started it all here in this community, and we haven't gone far. We're still building and investing here. We don't just build a building and hand over the keys. We all live in this community. We are raising our families here. And the buildings we construct are directly benefiting us and our families in some way. You see, Mr. Tom, just like he said, we are a part of something much greater than ourselves. And at Tellefson, we say the T means something more. It's the T in community. It's the T in integrity. It's the T in possibility. We build projects of significance that positively impact how people live, work, play, heal, worship, and learn. That's our why. That's why we exist at Tellefson. And I know each of you, you have your why. Use your why to motivate and strengthen your companies and your communities. And today you're going to hear a lot about capacity and capacity building. And why is that so important to all of us? Houston needs capacity. It needs entrepreneurs. It needs strong, healthy companies like yours that are continuing to get stronger, more healthy, hiring people. If Houston doesn't have that, we will not be competitive. We will not be the best we can be. Y'all are integral to this fabric of this community and its success. So thank you for having me here and let me say a few things. Enjoy the rest of the day as you learn more about capacity building.
I know Susan's going to come back on, but I just wanted to also say thank you so much, Tad. It's an honor to have you. One of our original, your family is an East End resident, and I'm also an East End resident, so it's an honor. And thank you and your family for all that you do in building a lot of our schools here in the East End, and then giving those encouraging words to the wonderful entrepreneurs that are watching today's program. So now back to you, Miss Julie and Susan.
Thank you. We are once again really appreciative of your time and wanted to express that and your commitment to the Houston community and to subcontractor relationships. We will put in the chat the link to Tellefson's webpage that's dedicated to subcontractors. And we're also going to go over their forms and talk about that a little bit later in this session, as well as the qualifications that you'll need in order to do work with Tellefson. Thanks again.
Thank you.
No, I think we're going. So today is the second session in the series. And so we just wanted to let everybody else know about the other sessions on June the 3rd, June the 10th, as well as the panel discussion on June 17th. So if you haven't registered for those sessions, go ahead and do that. We'd love to have you. And like Francis said, we're really excited to have so many of you come back that were here 2 weeks ago as we went over getting your house in order.
So what you can expect from us today is this will be an engaging session. We're going to be asking you questions. We want you to ask us questions. There are tools that you can use for immediately, this week, next month, that we want you to put these into action. There'd be time for questions. We want you to listen and participate. We want you to participate. Please chat your information. Ask your questions in the chat. And then we want you to actually use some of the information we're giving you today and then share that back with us so we know what's working.
We want to make sure to celebrate each other's successes. And as Francis had asked earlier, go ahead and put your contact information in the chat, and maybe even let each other know the products and services that you provide. It's important to help each other out and help each other be successful. So when you're out in the community and someone asks if you know somebody who does a certain service, or if you could refer someone, then you've had that opportunity to meet someone here today, and you've got their contact information. So the Houston Business Journal awarded Howard Tellefson the landmark Lifetime Achievement Award, and we'll be sending you that article as well. And it ties perfectly into our session today in the comments that Tad said is you can't build your capacity without integrity. I mean, that's the practice of being honest every single day, showing consistency, uncompromising adherence to the strong moral and ethical principles and values, not only of you, but of your company and as you build your company. But there's another word that I really like that's a part of integrity, which is grit, right? And that's, each and every day to keep it going as an entrepreneur. And I had my own business for 17 years. It's that grit, and it's the days that you have to go and get that extra courage and that extra commitment that keeps it going, because you have that vision to grow your company. You have that passion to make the community bigger and better. You have that passion to adapt. So that's what we're going to cover today. And we're going to have a great time. And there's 4 big pillars regarding capacity. About knowing your numbers is first, and Susan's going to talk about that. Operational processes and improvements, right? You've got to be able to adapt and adjust. And people, you've got to be able to recruit and retain the talent. And then we're going to share lots of amazing programs and resources that we are so fortunate to have here in the Houston community that not only I've used to help grow my business, but maybe a few of you have as well. And if you don't know about them, that's why we've got them as a part of this program.
Houston is an amazing place to do business. There are lots of resources out there for the business owner to really grow their business and to get those leadership skills and to continue to develop their own leadership. So we're going to, everyone needs to grab a piece of paper, divide it into 4, and we're going to start putting together an action plan. This actions that you're doing today, tomorrow, and next week are going to lead to your success.
Back to that grit, right? You've got to keep at it, and you've got to have a plan. So a few things about Susan. She is obviously focused her entire career on building capacity. She is one of the biggest advocates I know for small minority and women-owned businesses, and especially helping government and corporate companies hit those goals, and not only hit them, but exceed them. And we go back to 20 years, because when I had my company, she actually certified me. She's super passionate about her family and sharing her knowledge and also giving back.
Oh, thank you, Julie. So there's a few things about Julie. As she mentioned, she owned her own marketing firm. You've been paying attention this last week of all the Facebook and the LinkedIn posts. Julie loves promoting opportunities. She also loves working with small businesses. I've seen her mentor. I've seen her volunteer with organizations that support small businesses. She serves on boards of organizations that support small businesses. This is just something that she does. She has a beautiful family that includes a husband, 3 stepsons, and of course, the sheepdog.
So at this point, I'm going to peel off. I'm going to monitor the chat. Susan's going to take the first section, and we'll put in our contact information in the chat. We are here to continue to support you through not only today as you continue to grow.
So we're going to talk about capacity building. You can also look at that as strategic planning for your company. It's how you become successful, not today, not tomorrow, but every day. And you need to look at this, as a continuing process. So where do you want to be in the next 5 years? What are you doing now that's going to help you get there in the next 5 years? So let's just say that one of your goals is to get a government contract. Well, this month alone, the state of Texas posted 546 opportunities, and we are 20 days into the month. There have been 80 opportunities posted just this week. So the state is wrapping up their 2021 fiscal year. They are beginning very soon their new budgets for 2021, 2022. And well, not to wish anything bad on the Houston area, but we are now into hurricane season, which means that there could be some opportunity as far as disaster recovery. So you need to build your capacity now in order to take advantage of things that are happening in the Houston area. So according to the HBJ article, Houston ranks #2 for the top cities in the US for construction workers. There are 32,540 construction workers, and they are some of the highest paid construction workers. So as we are looking at building your capacity, and we are looking at building your manpower, you need to keep that in mind. You have to be competitive. We're going to email you. There's a lot of things going to be coming out in the email, but we will email you this article so that you can read this. This impacts your business. So we talk about strategic planning. We talk about capacity building. Well, one of the first things you need to know is where you are right now. You can't build upon something if you don't understand where you are. So we're going to go over a lot of information that you need to look at as you are putting your plan together. We will reference some of the information that we had in our webinar 2 weeks ago. That webinar should be posted on the East End Chamber by tomorrow or sometime tomorrow, so that if you didn't get a chance to be with us during that presentation, you will have the opportunity to go back and review that. All right, so let's talk about your business development. So maybe it's a business owner, or maybe you have someone out there that's filling out the bid information for different GCs. Are you tracking what you're winning? Are you tracking your win ratio, your capture ratio? So in order to use your time wisely, you have to know what are you winning. So you can break that down into the services that you provide. You can break that down into the industries, or whether you're which primes that you're submitting to. So win rate. Your wins, kind of divided by how many you submitted. So let's say you've been submitting to the same general contractor for the last 6 months, you've responded to everything that he sent you. You go back in and you look at it and you say, well, I haven't won anything from this general contractor, and he hasn't responded to me for any questions that I have. Is that a good use of my time? And so you look at that in several different ways. So you determine what's making you the most money, who you're doing the most business with, and the value of that information.
Keep going. Keep going.
But let's talk about, if you're after government contracting, and that takes a while to win those, right? So you need to keep that cash flow going. So some of that may be just what you can do to kind of develop some business with your current clients. So instead of paying for ads in newspapers or paying for ads on social media, you can ask your clients to refer people to you, and then you give them a little referral bonus. $25 for a warm lead is much better spent than a $250 blast that goes to who knows. So keep that in mind. That's one way to kind of boost up some of that cash flow. So we also need to look, as we're determining where we stand financially. Now, again, you may have seen this slide in the last webinar, but for companies that are reviewing their financials annually, that's all they look at. They look at them when their CPA gives them their information for their tax returns. They only have a 25 to 35% success rate. If you look at them monthly, that jumps up considerably to 75 to 80. All right, so you look at them at the end of the month. But if you're looking at them weekly, that's a 95% success rate. So as we said at the last, we went over some of those financial statements that you need to be looking at, but you need to understand where you stand financially, and you need to be able to articulate that to potential funders, to potential primes that you want to do business with that are asking for your financials, or potential partner organizations that you're going to team together. One of the statements that you look at is your cash flow. So one of the ways to get your cash a little bit faster is maybe accepting credit card payments. So you stop and think about that. Is that going to be worth the extra fee that you're going to get that money in your account, much quicker than we'll write you a check at the end of the month. So are you making a profit with each of your clients, with each of the jobs, and each of the services that you provide? Now, I've seen companies that are growing really quickly, and they're putting out their bidding information, they're getting their numbers out, and all of a sudden they're winning jobs, but they realize they're not making any money on any of the jobs or on a good portion of those jobs. So is your pricing not only competitive, but profitable? And if you're not breaking this down per project, then you don't know if you're making a profit on those projects. You really have to track those numbers on each project, not just in general. So if there are some projects, if you're looking at all these projects and you know what, this service that we provide is really doing well, and we want to get even more business, it's get that profit to us. Showcase it on your social media. Tell people about it. Not just keeping that to yourself. Oh, wow, that did really good. You need to share good news. So let's talk about workload and people. So if you're looking at your current workload, do you have the manpower needed to handle the additional work? Or can you handle these larger projects that take an extended amount of time? You need to be able to forecast the talent that you're going to need. And that also includes your licensed employee. If you are the only licensed master electrician or master plumber, you could very well be the bottleneck of the company. You could very well be what's keeping you from growing because there is only you. And as you're growing and as you're bidding, make sure you are listening to your gut. If you feel that the job is something you can do, bid on it. But if at any point in time you feel like this may be maxing out your company, stop and listen to your gut. All right, you can look at the workload in different ways. So here we have it broken down by person, what each person on the team is doing over the next few months. Or you can track this by company. Here's a 3-year snapshot of projects you have in the pipeline that you're going to be working on. And you can see where some of the gaps are, where you can maybe add in additional projects. Or let's look at it by this year. Let's look at our quarter. Like, okay, we've got this really big project for client 2 that is going to take, almost an entire year. Can we fit in some smaller projects as we go along? So you need to be able to have that clear view. Now, I'm one of these people that I like to put a big board on my wall and kind of mark what projects I have going on. That lets me know where I'm at and where I can pick up some additional work, or where, okay, I need to get some of these out the door before I get any new clients. That didn't happen very often. We always want new clients. But while you are growing your capacity, while you're going after some additional business, you cannot let the quality of services that you provide decrease. You have to maintain your quality and your integrity, as we mentioned earlier. So your reputation is important to your company. You can't grow without a great reputation. So you can look at your BBD, or you can look at your vendor performance rate. If you've been doing business with the state, how is the state rating you? Because state agencies, when they're deciding on who's going to win that, are going to go look at that vendor performance rate. Safety. All general contractors are very aware of your safety record. That is very important to them. So what is your EMR? Do you know what that is? Do you know where you rate? What's the industry standard for your industry? You need to make sure that you are looking at that on a regular basis. How does a small accident impact your EMR? What are you doing to train on safety? Are you keeping records of those safety meetings? So all of that sort of keeps that safety track record, where you don't have any accidents on those job sites. And when it's good, showcase it. Again, we're going to talk about let's let people know that you have a good safety record, because it's very important to the general contractors. It's very important to the government entities that you want to do business with. So let people know. And of course, we have bonding. So you probably know what your current bonding capacity is. You've been doing business for a while, so you know what that is. But what's it going to take for your company to increase the bonding level? Larger projects are going to require a higher bond. So you need to have this information before you need this information. So have a conversation with your bonding agent. Let them know that you're potentially going after government work, that you're potentially going after larger projects with larger primes. So what are you going to need to do to increase that bond when this opportunity becomes available? So you don't need to go out and increase your bond today, but you do need to know what it's going to take. This goes with the same conversation with your insurance agent. So what's it going to take to increase your insurance levels for your general liability, your workers' comp? All of that information could very well keep you from getting a contract if you don't have the ability to increase it to the levels needed. All right, and suddenly I quit going forward.
No, you're quitting.
All right, so now we are going to take a commercial break, and we are bringing up, who are we bringing up?
Cadence Bank.
Cadence Bank. All right. I am going to mute myself in Cadence Bank. If you could unmute yourself.
Ready. Can you guys hear me? All right, perfect. Just a quick introduction of myself, Solomon Saucedo, small business banker with Cadence Bank. I post my information on the chat if anybody has any questions. My email, phone number are in there. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to help. Couple things that I wanted to share with you guys from this initial part of the session. Julie and Susan touched on where you see yourself in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, and 546 business opportunities in the city. A couple things that I wanted to put in mind for you guys. Number one, are you ready to take those jobs? And if you're ready, is your bank ready? Is your banking relationship with your bank ready? Are your finances up to par to go and talk to a business banker for that line of credit, for that term loan, for that equipment loan? You never know, maybe a new office, new warehouse for your business to take on the new responsibilities of that job opportunity. If you have a banker that is helping you with all these needs, great, kudos to you and that business banker. But if you need some help putting your bank, your business ready for a bank, we call it bankable, please reach out to us. We will be happy to help you out with uncover what is it that you truly need to take those additional jobs opportunities out of those 446 opportunities and see if we can help you grow in the next 2, 3, 5 years. Again, we offer lines of credit for working capital. We offer term loans for maybe equipment, maybe for a new task. And again, maybe you need a new building, a new facility for your business. Reach out to Cadence Bank. We will be glad to help you out. And then if you're currently working with somebody on any of these services and you want a second opinion, don't hesitate to either reach out to me or David. We will be more than happy to help. At this time, I'll turn it back to Julie or Susan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Solomon, and the team at Cadence Bank for their continued support and sponsorship of this program. And perfect. Thanks so much, Savannah. I have the video back and you guys can still see my screen. Is that correct? You still have the Cadence logo up? Perfect. Perfect. The second section of our capacity building program is going to focus on operational processes and improvements. And Susan touched a little bit about that. As a former business owner and having a team of almost 30 people, there were many, many days that I wanted to clone myself, and it just wasn't possible because you're the one in charge and you're the leader. And there are ways to grow and scale your business so it doesn't all land on you, because obviously they cloned a sheep back in 1996, Dolly, but we can't do that to business owners and entrepreneurs. And so a couple things that I wanted to share with you to help you start thinking about operational improvements and scalability, and taking some of the things off of the leadership of your organizations. And as you're driving around town, because it's great that we're able to do some of that right now, so possibly on your action plan during the next few days or weeks, start thinking about a few of these questions. And if you're in your car or maybe just walking around your neighborhood, you can hit the microphone button and just talk into your phone, so you don't have to type. But think about what are the skills and services that only you can do. Maybe those are things that only you can do per your license, right? Or that you're the only one within the organization that has those skills or talents. So jot that down, right? Because we're going to talk about that later, and how you grow and promote within and promote up. Also, what are the things that you enjoy doing, right? And life's too short not to enjoy things that you're doing. Obviously, there are things that we don't enjoy doing, so make sure to note those as well. But back to that grit, on the days that you're just exhausted, but you keep going, and it's those things, it's the difference that you make in your employees' lives and the people that you surround yourself with that keep you going and re-energize you, right? Even before you get up on that first cup of coffee. And people are like, well, I'm not really sure what all I enjoy. The last couple, months, year and a half has been a little strenuous, but think about what is it that gets you up in the morning, that motivates you even before your feet hit the ground. That's the things that you enjoy. That's your passion. Also, start thinking about what are some of the tasks and things that are the easiest to train people on, right? So how can you do that? How can you take and delegate some of that? What are some repeatable tasks that within your company need to be documented and trained to help you scale, to help automate things, to help build your capacity? We had everybody put their information in the chat. Now you are all a part of this Session 2 network. Who do you know within your network that can help? And if you don't know someone immediately, then ask someone if they know someone. And that's how we build together, and that's how we grow together. And what can you do that you can outsource that doesn't have to be done by you or done by someone within your organization? I'm a huge time blocker. It helps me so much be efficient and effective, but also keep my priorities as priorities. And so think about also things that maybe you can block for. Maybe it's Monday mornings that you schedule out your week and you look at your workload and see if things are back on track and on schedule. Or maybe you do your bookkeeping, on Friday afternoons, or that's the time that you do your inventory. So think about those times on your calendar that you can put that are important, and you need to make sure to protect that time. All righty, outsourcing. I love this quote, and I'm working on my executive MBA right now at Texas A&M. And this came up a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, this is perfect for this seminar. Peter Drucker, who is the man who actually invented modern management, said, do what you do best and outsource the rest. Perfect quote for what we're talking about. Bookkeeping and accounting. When I started my agency 18 years ago, it was Wednesday nights and I was the bookkeeper and I did all of the invoicing. Well, it wasn't something that I enjoyed. It wasn't something that I was actually particularly good at. And I found out very quickly that if I did the bookkeeping, that did not help increase the profitability of my company. So then I hired a bookkeeper. From there, I hired an accountant. From there, I met with my CPA. And we're so fortunate in the East End Chamber to have Soledad and her company to help you through these different stages of the financial importance of your business. So definitely reach out to her. She's in the chamber directory. She can also help you with all of your PPP loan information as well. Websites. Collaborate has an amazing website. I assure you that the team that is sponsoring doesn't do their website. They outsource it, right? Or they have someone else within the organization do it. The owner of is not doing it. Here's a few other examples of websites. And even if you're just starting out, you can have a website that just has your capability statement on it, and your website can grow incrementally as well. Social media, you can outsource that as well. Here's some things, some social media trends specifically for construction companies. And focus on easy things. Maybe just choose 2 social media networks, Facebook and LinkedIn. Those are the 2 that Tellefson uses and communicates all of their social media messaging on, and focus on projects, people, community, in the industry. Those are the 4 things. And then grow as your budget allows, grow as your company allows as well. And so now we're going to take another commercial break and hear from our session sponsor, Collaborate.
Sorry, guys, I was on mute. I guess I'll kind of give you guys a brief history of Collaborate. We are a full-service architecture project management and recently got into commercial development. Collaborate was founded by my father, Martin Needle, and Christian's father, Saul Valentine, who I think most of you know. We recently, well, not recently, about 4 or 5 years ago, moved our offices, our headquarters, into the East End. And we've been working on projects in the East End area. Some of those include, Lee's Liquor, which I believe Francis wrote an article about. Harris County Sheriff's Office, also the Christ Street Warehouse, and we've done some HCC work in the East End as well. We're very excited to be, part of the community. Love being in Houston. We're right there on Canal in Sampson in the new headquarters building. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. But we're happy to be here. Christian, do you have any words that you'd like to share?
No, just happy to be in the East End. I actually went to school over at East Early College over here for high school, and went to the HCC campus there as well. So, I love this area. Been here for forever, so yeah, glad to be here.
So I guess we can turn it over back to Julie and Susan.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And once again, thank you for your session sponsorship and your
absolutely happy to be here.
So as we continue on items that we can outsource, one of my both favorite and can sometimes be a little bit of a pet peeve when I'm putting together project sheets is the project imagery. You need to have, as a construction company, your before, during, and after shots. As we put together project sheets, those pictures can tell a whole lot about that project. But and these photos can be on your website for people who are potential clients can go and look at these photos. You can share them on your social media. But what happens if you have one of those during shots and there's OSHA violations within the shot? Now that picture tells a story that you don't want told. So if photography is not your strong point, you can outsource that, or maybe you can partner with some of the other subcontractors to hire a photographer to come out and take pictures of all of the different trades that are going on. But make sure that if you are the one taking the shot, that you take a look around and say, we don't want trash. We don't want any OSHA violations. These pictures need to happen all throughout the project. And my final kind of make sure you organize them in a way you can find them and you know what picture goes with each project. So here's another before and after. And if you didn't get the shot before, or it's a brand new project, and you can also use just a drawing of what the project will look like. And the cool thing about that is then you can show the final and show how close you were to the rendering for the final. So we did borrow this off of the Collaborate website. Like I said, they have some gorgeous photos on there. So certification, your new and renewal. So if you are trying to get certified as a woman or minority owned company, and with either a national certification, a city, a state, this takes time away from the business owner. So even a certification is someone who is has knowledge of this process. It can take 3 to 4 hours throughout the process to get all of these documents put together in a way that makes sense, as well as submitted online. So what can you be doing with that time? So maybe you hire an intern, or maybe you hire another company that can help you put this package together and submit for multiple certifications. And then you need a plan to use that certification. It is not wall art. You need a plan to utilize that certification. So as you got your certification, and now you want to market to some of these prime contractors as well as these government entities, you need your capability statement. And we've got a couple of samples of this. There's Honesty Construction that showcases his certification. We have Strack. And then we have Wilson Unlimited. So this is a great way for you to go out and market your organization to buyers, that let them know exactly what you do. And again, if this is not your strong point, there's companies out there that can put this together for you. So now we have got our capability statement, we've got our certification, our capability statement. Now we need to actually register as a vendor and research. Each profile that you want to register, let's say you want to register for HCC, or you want to submit the Tellefson subcontractor package. This could take you 20 to 30 minutes for each one. So maybe you're starting with the top 5. That's a lot of your time as a business owner. Can that be outsourced? There's standard information that they're going to ask you. And then that intern or can come back to you and say, well, now we need this specific information for this one. So these are some ways that you can sort of outsource some of that so that you can actually be outdoing the business. And we talked about some companies that you maybe want to be on your top 5 the last seminar. Or here's one that I just attended a seminar that they did. Holder, they are desperately looking for Hub certified companies. They had a webinar. And so this is, you're doing your research. Here is a perfect example of an organization that is currently actively searching for Hub subcontractors. This is all of the requirements that you're going to need to fill out their paperwork. So they lay that out for you. You can start gathering all that information, and the intern can fill that out for you. Manhattan Construction. This is their website to their trade partner section, where you go in and you get their information to request a pre-qualification package. They're also going to be on the panel on June 16th. And as Julie mentioned, Tellefson will be sending out their information. So as a business owner, is this where you want to spend your time? Here is the Tellefson 7-page pre-qualification. So researching opportunities, if you're going after government contracts, you need to be looking at these opportunities on a daily basis. Again, does it need to be you, or is it someone else within your company that can go out and look and see what is popping up? Here is a newsletter from Precinct 2 that was posted 5 or 6 days ago. So Julie's going to drop the link in there. That's going to talk about what's going on in Precinct 2. Harris County just finished a disparity study, and they are actively looking for hubs. You do have to be registered on Bonfire to do business. So again, that's another registration as you're going out and you're actively researching opportunities. You want to get that done. So as you're researching, the state of Texas just actually posted their semi-annual report of how much business they're currently doing for this fiscal year. So 15,380 firms are registered hubs. 3,032 got business during this portion of their fiscal year. $1.35 billion. That's a lot of slices of pie. So the state of Texas has great research tools for you to go out and look at who is purchasing the service that you provide. Here's another article that impacts the construction industry. The Martin Sustainable Resource eyes a $211 million processing plant near Houston. They're going to be building that. All right, so we're going to have a little break. We're going to switch over. Does anyone want to share any of their action items that you have on your list for maybe this month and the first quarter? Is there anything that you want to share that you're going to be doing? And then Julie is going to come up and talk next. All right. Julie?
Yes. All righty, recruiting. How are you going to tell and communicate to everyone that you are growing, right? So all you have to do is ask. And there are so many people and so many resources that want to help you and support you. The chamber, right? I mean, their mission is to connect, grow, and strengthen. And as a member of the East End Chamber, there's opportunities there. You can do a ribbon cutting. You can ask, have them and work with them to do a member connection as well as a member spotlight. And here's some examples that they've just recently done, featuring a ribbon cutting for Farmers Insurance, Soledad with STC Consulting, and then during Small Business Week. So definitely don't be afraid to ask. You can't do this alone. And so let people know that you want to grow and ask them. Harris County jobs, HCSO jobs, right? When you're driving around, maybe you have a fleet and you have vehicles. Are you promoting either your website or that you're hiring, or how people can apply? They're mobile billboards, so definitely use them and maximize them. Your vendors, have conversations with your vendors and let them know that you're growing, and ask them what y'all can do together to help each other grow and communicate what's going on. Maybe see if they can adjust some payment terms for you when you're getting set up with the new vendor. Ask them what you can do as a customer to make their lives easier, so that relationship is much better and y'all grow together. All righty. Put it on your website. Here's Century AC Supply on their website. Join our family, right? So immediately you know what the culture is at Century AC Supply. LinkedIn. So this is a new feature of LinkedIn. You can actually go in and change it. And if it's purple, that means you're hiring. So use social media to find people, to recruit people, and then put details of the information and list positions that you have on LinkedIn. If you don't have an employee referral program to help you grow and build your capacity, I strongly recommend it, right? If your employees are happy and they know somebody and they're willing to ask somebody to come in and be a part of your work family, then definitely compensate that employee for that. There's tons of different ways that you can build an employee referral program regarding how long the referrer needs to stay with the company and how much you're going to pay each or both parties. There's tons of different examples out that, or ask somebody that's in the chat offline, what they do. Invoices. Tell your current customers. You never know who knows somebody who either needs a job, is ready to get into the construction field, ready for a career change. So put it on your invoices. That's right there, real small down in red at the bottom. AAA Plumbers is growing again. So you know that they're a stable company and now they're continuing to grow. It has the call to action. So how is that? Are those interested parties going to find out about positions? Well, they say call us or go on the website to find out about positions and benefits. And we'll elaborate a little bit more about that later. Now, if you know someone who is open to work, there is a box on LinkedIn that they can check and says open to work. But you on the flip side can do a quick search for open to work. And then you can even narrow that down. And there is a filter for construction. So narrow it down to Houston. That gets down to 12,000 people that are open to work. And then when you add the filter for construction, that gets down to 200 plus people that want to and are really, really willing and able to get to work. Quite a few different programs out there. Harris County Community Supervision and Corrections Department has a second chance program that is amazing. If you've ever been to a Mod Pizza, more than 50% of their employees at Mod Pizza are through second chance programs. And so this is job readiness, life skills, and all of those great things. SER members and qualified graduates could be your future work source, your future work source as well. Susan's quickly putting all of these links in here. We'll also put them all in the same document, one document, and send that out to you as well with the Houston Business Journal articles. Workforce Solutions. So this website is amazing because it has an employer service section, and you can see how many jobs are open and how many are posted and active resumes. So this is workintexas.com. But in the employer section, you've got the dashboard, then you also have the directory of services. There's recruitment services, employer incentives that you can see if you qualify for tax credits or grants, depending on the types of employees that you have and the types of sections that you're looking to grow within your company. Educational services, all of these great free services are there and available for work in Texas. Our partner HCC, which is our panel sponsor, has amazing programs within HCC that you can contact and let them know that you need specific skill set to help you grow your company. Or on the flip side, invest in your team members. If someone within your organization needs just some additional training or some career readiness, you can send them to HCC. They have a residential construction division. And some of you might be tilting your head and going, wait a minute, but I thought Julie and Susan were talking about construction. Well, as a matter of fact, in the last 6 months, we have done proposals for small construction companies, and Missouri City, City of Conroe, the City of Houston, as well as the General Land Office have sent out contracts specifically for small construction companies to divide all of this work, all of this disaster recovery work, aging in place work, and their goal is to distribute it among multiple small companies. So if you have a very strong residential background, you can still get government work in transition as well, right? And you know, we're less than 2 weeks from hurricane season. Gotta love Houston. HCC, in addition to residential construction, has plumbing and HVAC, like I said, residential construction. Our friends with Lone Star have very, very similar programs. So if you're in all of the suburbs in the periphery, Lone Star Services is in the greater Harris County area. Staffing agencies, there's C3, which focuses specifically in the construction industry. And then there's some certified staffing agencies through that. But right here within the East End Chamber, we have Sunshine Personnel. She's also a NAMIC member. And maybe, you know, when you're looking at your workload, you may not be ready to hire full-time employees, or maybe you just need employees for specific projects. They can help you out with that as well. So staffing agencies are an incredible resource to help you scale your company and help build your capacity, grow your portfolio as well. A thing that is super near and dear to my heart is employee retention. And I love this quote for Richard Branson: if you look after your staff, they'll look after your customers. I mean, it's that simple. If you treat people with respect and if you invest in them, they will stay with you and they'll be loyal. And back to, you know, Susan, when we started and she was talking about knowing your numbers, you know, one number that I think tells a great story about a company's capacity is their employee tenure. Like, what is their retention number? What is the percentage of their total employees that have been with them for 5 years, 10 years? That speaks so much. And happy employees stay, right? And then back to that, you know, employee referral, and they'll refer each other. If you're in a leadership position within your organization, who's your number two? Who's that manager? Who is, you know, going to take care of things when you need to take a day off or you need to take a vacation? And how are you grooming them and investing in them to come up right behind you and take some of that load off of you, so you can focus on other things to help build the capacity of your company. Decisions. Think about what type of decisions your team can make. And obviously decisions depend on the various positions of employees, but what are some things that your team is coming back to you, maybe daily, maybe weekly, that, you know what, maybe we're going to empower them. Maybe we're going to let them make those types of decisions. And the bigger decisions you'll still make, or they need to confer with you, but what are the decisions that you trust them to make? Grow to promote, right? You've got to promote within. McCarthy does an amazing job at this. And I think it's also important to remember that managers who start at lower levels are fantastic leaders. I mean, they understand the work. They're not afraid to roll up their sleeves. And some of them actually make some of the best superintendents. But also be considerate that maybe not everyone wants to grow into management. Maybe there are people out on the field that are extremely skilled craft professionals that can help you grow your company in other ways and help train up and grow to promote, right? So ask people, you know, what is their goal, right? Just you as well, you have your goal for the business, 5 years, 10 years. Well, what are your employees' goals? And help them get there and help retain them. Mentoring programs are an amazing platform in order to transfer knowledge from some of those legacy workers to new employees. And you know, mentorships, the mentor and the protege, they both benefit exponentially from these relationships. I am still in touch with my protege from when I was in college, and that was quite a few years ago. But these can actually create lifelong relationships that are phenomenal. If you need help developing a mentor protege program or even an apprenticeship program, there are resources that are out there. Here's an example of a flyer from Workforce Solutions and our friends at Emerald Standard, are a part of that. And on their social media, they promoted how they worked with Workforce Solutions and how successful their programs are. I love Houston. I have been here the longest I've ever in my entire adult life. I've lived here for over 20 years. And one of the things that I love the most about Houston is its diversity. And the majority of our workforce is Spanish speaking. And I think as an industry, we do an amazingly great job at site level communications. But start thinking about communications across your company and how are we communicating in other languages across multiple areas, possibly in the areas of onboarding. And your enrollment in your benefits will increase if your entire team understands it. So make sure that when you're offering benefits, whether that's medical, retirement, dental, all of those great benefits, that they are in languages that your entire workforce can understand. Back to benefits, in that Houston Business Journal article, with Houston being the #2 city, we also have the highest paid construction worker in the state of Texas. And it's important to invest. And so when you're pricing out your jobs, make sure that you include benefits in your labor burden rate. And maybe you haven't done that this year right now on the jobs that you're on, but make that a practice going forward. So then you will have money to do that. And if you want us to email you this screenshot of this PDF that breaks all of the different fields down and the insurance and the benefits, we'd be more than happy to do that. Education, and I've already touched on this, but I wanted to share this. This just came into our inbox this week regarding OSHA training. Your safety number is critically important, and providing OSHA 10 training for your team. So Susan's going to put a link in the chat, and if you put in the promo code @work4you, this is free. 2 days of training free with that @work4you code. So she'll put the link in there as well as the chat, the link, the website link and the code. And that's May 25th and 26th. So I know it's right around the corner, but a great opportunity for free educational OSHA training for you and your team. Employee recognition. Employee recognition does so much. And Emerald Standard, there's Roger recognizing, one of his team members for just initiating, having great initiative and going above and beyond. And he put that on his social media. If you want to see who does an amazing job at social media in this space as a small business, and he has 35 employees. Roger does, and he's actually the one out doing it because that's something that he enjoys. So he put that on his list. Here's a couple different other examples of types of recognition that you can do for your team. When someone on your team, we talked about the bottleneck of having licenses. So if someone gets their license, you definitely want to let everybody know that. If someone gets promoted, you want to know that, as well as other things and other recognition that you can do with your team. We talked a lot about everything is bigger than you and giving back to the community, promoting your culture, your company culture, as well as your commitment to the community are important as well to communicate. And Susan's going to talk about how to sign up for HCC.
As I mentioned earlier, Houston is an amazing place to own a business. They have a lot of resources for you as the business owner and the leader to continue your education, as well as to keep in touch about different programs that are being offered. So here's the Houston Community College. They have webinars throughout the year on different subjects that you can sign up for. And again, you're sitting at your desk, you run the webinar, then they provide you the link if you want to go back in and touch bases. So Julie's going to be putting a lot of links into the chat. So we're going to get through this very quickly. We're almost to the end. So Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small businesses. Now, I have been involved with this organization since they came into Houston in 2011. I was at sort of their opening ceremony. I have recommended many women-owned businesses to participate in this program. I have yet to hear anything bad. This is a great program that will take your company to the next level. It will take you to the next level. And they are they're open right now for applications, and they've actually changed the minimum requirements. You only have to be in business for 2 years now. Your revenues of 75,000 instead of 150. 2 employees, which may include the owner and a co-owner if there's a co-owner instead of 4. So Julie's going to drop the link. Again, this program will elevate your company. Lift Fund, not only are they a source for funding, they also provide educational programs that can help your company, such as marketing and other programs. So check out their website. I believe they are also on the board of directors of East End Chamber and a very big supporter. HCC, they have several different programs. They have what's called the, they have the Minority Business Development Association, I believe. And they do training for minority-owned companies. They have a subs and sandwich coming up that you do not have to be a client of them to attend. Great information. And they have one coming up on June 16th. Get these in your email, and all you do is sign up and attend. Metro has training programs. They also have a certification. So the Ride Metro, sort of the Metro Academy, they provide information on how to do business specifically with Metro. They also provide OSHA training, as well as other training on how to, I do believe they had one on the prevailing wage. So this is all of their upcoming training. And they are part of the Interagency Mentor Protege program, which includes Metro, Port of Houston, City of Houston, HCC.
Hire Houston First.
I'm sorry?
And Hire Houston First.
And Hire Houston First. I know there's a 5th one. City of Houston has, again, some amazing programs. Build Up Houston, Turner School of Management, of Construction, Lift Off Houston, all of these different programs. Not all of them are geared specifically for construction, but they can all help the leaders and the owners of the organization grow. And some of these have some cash prizes for business plans. True Fund is recently, in the last couple of years, moved into the Houston area. And they have some programs that they do webinars and some training. So Julie, again, is going to drop that into the chat. They have a True Access contractor program that will be starting soon. All right. Whew. Has anyone participated in any of the programs that we mentioned? Is there any one of them that you want to talk about, what they did for your company? If you want to drop that in the chat so that people can have that information as they are trying to determine which program is the best fit for them. So it's always nice to have some input from people who have gone through the program. So Julie actually went through the Goldman Sachs program. I believe she was cohort 1.
11 years ago.
11 years ago. So that's been a while. And she's also been participated in the interagency mentor protege program. All right. So any questions before we wrap this up? We are right on time today. So Julie, any questions popping up? Okay. Now, we're going to remind you once again, this does not stop today. This is about taking your company and growing it, growing your capacity. So you need to put your action plan to work. I hope everyone has some items on their action plan that they're going to be doing. And then you're going to take a look at your calendar and put on your calendar, time block those specific items so that you are dedicated to getting that done. You know, the saying, if it's not on my calendar, it just doesn't happen. So look at your calendar and say, Friday afternoons, I am going to be working on my certifications. I think someone mentioned that they were going to be working on their certifications. Friday afternoons, when everybody else has gone home, that's a great opportunity to start gathering up some of that paperwork and starting the application. It's quiet. So and any other items that you want to work, go ahead and put those on your calendar. All right, so I'm sure that on your action plan is signing up for sessions 3, 4, and the panel. We're going to be talking about how to maximize that certification as well as the subcontractor package. If you have not done so, make sure you check out the membership information for the East End Chamber. They're going to be dropping a link into the chat for you to complete, and of course, rewatch the session. And here are some additional items. I see Frances is ready. All right, there's our contact information, and I'm going to turn it over to Frances.
Thank you so much, Susan. And I really appreciate all the learning that you've given our potential new members and our current members. So as they said, make sure that you sign up for our next session, which is going to be on June 3rd, titled Maximizing Your Certification. We are also going to hear from someone from Port Houston. So they will be here to join us. And then also register for the June 10th subcontractor package. So those are free items. If there's anybody else that you would like to make sure that they participate, send them the link as well. If you are not a member of the chamber, please reach out to me. My email and phone number are in the chat, or you can just reach us on my website. Our phone number is simple to remember, 713-926-3305. And if you were to have paid for this session, it might have cost you about $125. So you do get a really good return on your investment. This is right here, just other 10 reasons why you should join the chamber. To meet people like the people that you've chatted on here. Can you just wait until we get into in-person meetings, and then you can just exchange business cards? But we're doing what we can, and that chat room is going to be great. Don't forget to save all the comments in the chat so that you can connect with everybody on here. I wanted to share with you some upcoming events that we're going to have. We're also trying to get you certified with the City of Houston. So if you're not certified and want to be certified to do business with the City of Houston, we're going to have one-on-ones on June 7th. And in the chat room, there is a link to register for that. Again, it's complimentary, and it's a 20-minute session, one-on-one with friends of ours at the City of Houston. On June 9th, we're having our Business Development Committee meeting. We're going to have Giselle Greenwood, who is the editor-in-chief of the Houston Business Journal. She is going to talk to us about ways that you can, how to get press to navigate the media. In our chat room, there's information on how to register for that. And then don't forget our June 17th construction panel discussion. All of these workshops are going to end with that. There's some amazing companies that are going to give you information that's going to be great for you, and it'll also be moderated by Susan and Julie. And October 6th, we have our annual scholarship golf tournament. We are going to send information out there today, but don't just save the date. We want to make sure that you come out and play and maybe even volunteer and network with someone. November 4th is our Port Appreciation Day, our biggest event of the year. We're so excited to have it in person this year. We will have it at the Marriott South at Hobby Airport, and we're going to have an expo area for everyone to come and exchange information on how to do business with one another. So visit our website, like our Facebook page, like our LinkedIn page, so that you can stay informed with all these programs that we have to offer for you. I wish everyone a wonderful day. And Susan and Julie, thank you guys so much. I think down below is also, we're going to send you a link to the survey. We'll keep the line open for about 5 more minutes, just in case you want to click on that to do the survey. And if not, we're going to send you everybody a follow-up email. We couldn't be here without Cadence Bank. So thank you so much, Cadence Bank, for being our title sponsor. And thank you, Collaborative, for being our session sponsor. If you want to be a sponsor for an upcoming program, please make sure that you contact myself, Julie, Susan, any of us. There's opportunities for you to do that.
All right. Thank you, Francis. And thank you to Cadence and Collaborate. We do appreciate your support. And thank you for everyone. The chat was just awesome today. I'm very excited. It's always great when the speakers see the engagement. And here is our next sessions. We're excited. Maximizing your certifications, one of my favorite ones.
And we'll go ahead and we've got a few more minutes left. If we have any other questions, please go ahead and either unmute yourself or turn on your cameras. And Savannah can do that. Already over there.
All right, I'm going to go back to the chat.